So to answer the question of where you want to arrive and the kind of person you want to be, you've got to get serious. So that's point number one. To make your life worthwhile and unique, to go from average to fortune, you've got to get serious.
You bake pies and cakes. That's your gift. You don't have to think about it. That's what you do.
I believe that the challenge in relationships and in life in every area is emotional fitness.
I dedicate this to you, to the greatness in you, and to the dream you showed up on the planet to produce. And it's simply this: if you want to think bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it. If all that you dream and scheme is about it and life seems useless and worthless without it.
Serious. Life is serious. The future's serious. One ancient novelist said, these are the best of times and these are the worst of times. And for some of those who came across this platform at the extravaganza, $1 million a year incomes, for them, it's the best of times. But I want you to know that while they're getting the diamonds and the millions, there are a lot of people around the world, for them, it is the worst of times. The best of times and the worst of times. That's called serious matter. How come such a difference from those who can reach such incredible heights and those who haven't yet found the answers for their life and their health and their future? We just have to ponder that.
Quit trying to do what somebody else is doing, because that ain't your life. You don't even want to come the way I would. If you knew the path I took to get here, you would not take it. If I'd have knew the path I was going to have to take to get here, I would have changed my destiny a long time ago, because there's no way I would have wanted to have gone through what I went through to get to where I am today. That's why God don't reveal it to you. See, God never reveals the path to you. He shows you what it could look like, but he don't show you the route, because if he showed you the route, you'll turn around. Everybody would quit. If you knew what you had to go through to get to where he had for you to go, you would all quit. I would quit too. It's no way I would have had a stuttering problem. It's no way I would have lived in a car for 3 years. It's no way if I'd have knew that when I quit my job to do comedy, what was going to happen to me, I would have never quit my job.
And let that give us a note of seriousness. It's serious whether you win or lose. It's serious whether you succeed or fail. It's serious whether you've got a good future carved out for yourself or you do not have. These are serious matters. Matters of the heart are serious. Matters of income are serious. Matters of supporting your family, serious. Are you serious? Why? We got a serious matter here to discuss. We haven't come with the latest 10 stories. We've come with a serious matter. And I want you to take on that serious tone. Now, the second point is get smart. To make your life work out worthwhile, you've got to have some ideas. You've got to have the information. So you've got to be smart. In fact, in this decade, you must be much smarter than you were in the last decade. You've got to read the books. You've got to come up with the information. When I have a chance to talk to the high school kids, that's the theme of my talk. Get smart.
Listen to me. Rich people think differently. So what I'm going to put in your head today is a rich people concept, so you can get to understand it. The only difference between successful people and not is just how they think. Rich people think different. Quit letting people tell you got to get qualified in another program. You don't need another program to be successful. You need to change the way you think. So here's the deal. The problem with becoming a millionaire is that when you decide that you want to be a millionaire, you immediately start thinking, how can I become a millionaire? Well, that thought don't just pop into your head, so you get frustrated and you don't become a millionaire. And you start creating stuff like, well, I guess this wasn't the Lord's will, or as soon as I think of how I'm gonna make $1 million. You can't think of how to make $1 million. Stop. Do you know if you knew how to make $1 million, what's today, Tuesday? Wouldn't you make it by Friday?
If you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength, and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity of neither cold poverty, famish, or gulf sickness, a pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want if dogged and grim. You besiege and beset it with the help of God.
That it starts with how emotionally fit you are in a relationship. If you think about a relationship, other than the maintenance of some responsibility. People today in our society won't do things just for responsibility. They've been taught to focus on themselves, unfortunately. And while we all have to have a sense of responsibility, what's even greater, it's like discipline. Discipline never works long term. Never. What works is when you become addicted to something positively new. You trade one addiction for another. When you shift from having to doing something to wanting to do something. So our focus is how to make that happen. Now, I say this to you. If you want to change a relationship, the number one thing you have to do is master your own emotions. If you don't do that, forget it. There's no hope. And what's wonderful, though, is it's easy to do if you know how. But none of us have been taught really emotional leadership, emotional management is the very minimum, much less how to direct and shape ourselves.
Like, this ain't for funsies. Like, this somebody's lifestyle and people going out there and getting it. And if something happens to you, I promise you, if something happened to you, as sweet as you are, you're going to be what? Come on, you got to talk back to me. You're going to be what? Replaced. Say it again. You're going to be what? That ought to scare you. That ought to scare you. That alone ought to make you wake up every day and say, I cannot afford to be replaced. Now, I need 3 people to be honest before I go there. You cannot afford to be replaced. Why? Somebody talk to me. I can tell you why I can't afford to be replaced. You tell me why you can't afford to be replaced. Say it again. My wife got MS, bruh. She will never go back to work again. You understand me? 3 years ago, she was diagnosed with MS. She will never go back to work again. She's doing phenomenal. I'm building a house in San Diego right now. Why? Because she got a vitamin D deficiency. And Michigan don't work in the wintertime. We don't got a lot of sun.
You'll have greatness in you. What I'm trying to tell you, beloved, is that you can have a new year, but it don't mean jack diddly if you don't have a new mind. I'm telling you that you can buy a new car, but if you put the old man in a new car, you still want to have the old experience. I'm telling you that a new house doesn't make a new marriage. I'm talking about a new outfit doesn't make you a new person. And if you think you're magically going to be a new person.
I don't mean faking your emotions. I don't mean pushing them down. I don't believe in positive thinking, although you may think that from watching, some of the media coverage, because people see me in an audience and there's 12,000 people and they're jumping and leaping and people go, oh, they're just in this motivational stuff. It's not that. It's that energy is part of life. And if you're sitting passively listening, you're not going to be able to listen very long, certainly not 50 hours, anything like that. If you turned on and you saw a rock and roll concert, you'd see people cheering, going for it. If you went to a sporting event, why do people do it? Because there's an energy there. So I create that in those environments. But I'm not into positive thinking. I'm not here tonight to tell you to go to your garden and say, there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds. I'm very clear that I believe that life is about leadership and being truthful to yourself. And so I believe, number one, that the mandate for any great relationship and the mandate for anybody to lead their own life and not be a follower is you got to see things as they are, but not worse than they are. Because that's where most people go.
So when I get up to speak, this ain't just about speaking. This making sure baby girl ain't never got to work again. This making sure she got a crib in Michigan, she got a crib in San Diego, and the next one I'm getting her is in Hawaii. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I ain't playing games. This ain't about like putting up something on YouTube. That's like an after effect. The stuff y'all see, that's an after effect of what? Of me grinding for my wife. My son worked for me. I don't want him working for nobody. I'll never forget when my son graduated, he wanted to be an agent. He wanted to work for The Rock. He told me, Dad, I got an opportunity to work with The Rock. I started laughing. He was like, I'm gonna get the chain. He young. I'm gonna get the chain. I said, you gonna get the what? He said, I'm gonna work with The Rock and get the chain. I said, boy, you and Thomas, we make up our own chain. We ain't wearing nobody else's chain. You ain't gotta wear another man's chain. You work and get your own chain. You make your chain famous. You make other people wanna wear your stuff. So number one, I can't be replaced. I got my son counting on me. I can't be replaced. I got my wife counting on me. I can't be replaced.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news because new life comes from a new mind and a new way of looking at your life. I cannot step into the future and still think in my past. I cannot let the rumors and the stain of what they said about me destroy my opportunity. Slap somebody and tell them I gotta kill it tonight. I gotta destroy it tonight. I gotta get rid of it tonight. I gotta throw it behind me tonight. I can't drag that same old mess into another year. Through it until something is done, come hell on hot water. Tears and struggles and pain, and you go through it anyway.